Katibu mratibu katika Wizara ya Afya Dr. Mercy Mwangangi ametoa wito kwa wahandisi katika sekta ya afya kuhakikisha kwamba teknolojia inatumika pakubwa kutoa huduma za afya, hasa nyakati hizi ambazo kuna chimbuko la maambukizi mapya hasa la virusi vya corona, kama anavyotupasha sasa taarifa hiyo Brenda Wawire.
Mwangangi ametoa changamoto kwa wataalamu wa afya hasa wale wanaohudumu katika kitengo cha medical engineering kwa mstari wa mbele kuisaidia wizara hiyo kuvumbua mashine mpya inayooana na teknolojia kisasa ili kuyaokoa maisha.
One of the things that we really want to ensure we complete as we take a bow as government is to ensure that we look at the issue of human resources, but more importantly the training and the curricula. And so as we put in place policies, as we put in place norms and standards, which we have in the Ministry of Health, are we actually taking into consideration the new technologies? Why is it that perhaps in my movements across the counties, I've never seen those point-of-care ultrasounds with the MOs and the nurses running all over around with them? And that means there's a gap somewhere. Do you know what I'm talking about? It means there's a gap somewhere. And it's something that can only be addressed by yourselves as a fraternity who are aware that these advances in technology are present. And therefore then you can challenge us within the policy making tables to avail some of those technologies. And I'm sure there's a whole field, and these people who are supporting us here today are aware of what is out there. Challenge us, those of us who sit in those policy desks, to be able to bring some of these new technologies so that Kenya is not left behind, but also patient care is improved.
Dr. Mwangangi akizungumza mjini Kakamega baada ya ufunguzi rasmi wa kongamano la 8 la wahandisi katika sekta ya afya yani medical engineers, amewapongeza kwa jitihada zao hasa wakati wa janga la virusi vya corona, huku akiahidi wote waliojikakamua katika uvumbuzi kutuzwa.
Let me thank you, the fraternity of medical engineers, for all the work that you've done for us, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. I share the same sentiments of our medical engineer from the Ministry of Health, Engineer Owino, when it comes to some of the key lessons we learned during the COVID-19 pandemic, amongst them being able to, one, appreciate the contributions that medical engineers put in place when it comes to equipment. I can tell you there are times where, if I can remember, one of the key things that was happening is when we needed a lot of oxygen across the counties and in the different facilities. And some of the practitioners were explaining to us that when you're trying to put someone on a ventilator, there's some steps you take. You know, there's the point where you need to get someone on a ventilator, but sometimes you can put them on a high nasal flow cannula. One of the commitments that Waziri has given, and one of the messages he's asked me to pass to you, is that he shall soon be honoring in an international conference amongst yourselves some of the medical engineers who contributed in the COVID-19 pandemic. And the president shall be in that meeting as well. And so there are good things coming to just slowly and smallly, you know, in a most, should I say, subtle way, recognize your efforts as you deal with the larger policy issues that we need to attend to.
Daktari Mwangangi amezitaka serikali za kaunti kuhakikisha kwa vifaa vya matibabu vilivyoko kwenye kaunti vinalindwa na kuahidi kuzindua matumizi ya mswada wa medical engineering policy uliotiwa sahihi mwaka wa 2018.
In counties where these equipment are, there's a requirement to ensure that at least 10% of the total cost of equipment is dedicated to maintenance services. And he said he will relay that back to the governor and the COG so that this can take place.
Waziri wa afya kaunti ya Kakamega Dr. Collins Matemba amekiri kuwepo kwa changamoto katika sekta hiyo ya afya, ila serikali ya kaunti ya Kakamega imeipa kipaumbele huduma za afya.
As a county, we have invested heavily in healthcare by acquiring modern medical devices to offer quality medical services. All these medical devices need the services of biomedical engineers to operate and service when it's needed.
Brenda Wawire nikiripotia West TV kutoka mjini Kakamega.